Get started now. All right. So this is the current state of cryptocurrencies in the U.S. in terms of legislation and adoption, right? I want to talk to y'all about how we can explore the adoption of crypto because right now in the U.S., I think a lot of people aren't aware that these policies that have been passed recently, as far as the Genius Act and the Stablecoin Act, are going to enable a lot of wealth creation. And for the people that do know that, it's going to enable a lot more opportunity. So for anybody who's in the current conversation right now, who's in this live right now, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, I need y'all to participate just to make sure that we're caught up on the same page. Is anybody here who's in the chat right now, are they aware of the Genius Act? Can I get a yes or no? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to give it a few seconds.
It's all good.
I'm going to make sure they're paying attention instead of just looking at our faces.
100. It's just like nobody's aware. They're aware it's going But it's cool. It's cool.
All right. For anybody that is listening right now, whether you're aware of it or not, I just need y'all to understand that the Genius Act is a landmark in U.S. crypto regulation, right? So in July 18th of this year, the Genius Act was the first comprehensive federal stablecoin legislation in U.S. history, which makes it already a historical act that was passed. And what this did is it established institutions who could issue stablecoins. So now it's not just these crypto blockchains who are giving you stablecoins. It's Fidelity, it's Wells Fargo, it's your local bank, it's your credit union who has the power to create a stablecoin. And what that does is now you can create alternative asset classes that you can invest in against the dollar, and that can grow in value over time. What this also does is it makes it legal for you to have stablecoins. Before, if anybody knows about crypto, there's always been a lot of corruption within crypto because of the legality of it. And that's why people have been skeptical because Bitcoin has always been caught up in scandals, using underground networks for criminals, things like that. What this does is it legalizes that framework. So now, anytime you use Bitcoin, as long as it's registered on the ledger or the blockchain, which is a network that records all of your financial transactions, then everything's good to go. So that's what makes that legislation so historical, the Genius Act. And some of the key provisions and the impact on the market is that with the stablecoins, now you have a way to reserve your cash, right? So before you just put your money in the bank and it's really sitting there, it's not really doing anything. But with Bitcoin, if you put it in Bitcoin, as y'all can see, I'm not sure if y'all are aware, but within the past couple of months, people probably like the last 6 to 8 months, it's gone from like 70,000 to 120,000. It's dropped a little bit recently, but that's a historical return of investment as far as economics go. We haven't seen any asset like that probably ever in the history of the U.S. grow that fast in value. So that also speaks volumes to the reserve in cash that can grow over time. Okay. As far as the surge in the market when it comes to alternative coins, so we're not just talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Ethereum now. Ethereum is the foundation of blockchain. Everything that exists on the blockchain needs to have a technology that records that transaction to make sure that is registered on the ledger. And Ethereum is a technology that powers it. So that's another asset that you can invest in besides Bitcoin, because we know that Bitcoin now is over 6 figures. Everybody can't afford to invest in Bitcoin, especially if they want to become, wealthy at some point. And that's what the whole point of this conversation is about. So for an alternative asset, you have the option of using Ethereum, right? And then you also have Solana. So Solana, what do you know about Solana, Nev? Tell the people.
I don't really know much about Solana because I'm not investor in Solana.
I see. Okay. Well, Solana, I just say it has a great community. And that's something else that, as far as like cryptocurrencies go, that's a very important proponent of it. When it comes to cash, we already know that cash is king, but cash can also create corruption. And we know that in cryptocurrencies, it has the ability to do that. But Solana, what it's known for is the camaraderie, the community that is building. There's people who believe in the idea of crypto because it's a hedge against the dollar. It's creating financial opportunity. and they have so many more opportunities as far as NFTs, meme coins, things like that. So that's another alternative investment that you can look into. Um, all right. Somebody said that the comments were off on YouTube. I see a whole bunch of comments here, so I don't know if it's me or if it's you, bro. I just want to make sure that we on the same page. Shout out to Brian in the chat. Shout out to Travel Swag, Chuck Taylor. Shout out to all y'all. Oh, you said on IG. Yo, Nav, you gonna have to fix that. Yeah, you gonna have to fix that, bro.
The comments should be open.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. All right, should we keep on going? Is it open now on IG?
It should be. Yeah, it's open.
It's open.
Yeah, comments are good.
Okay. Yeah. So Amani, if it's not working for you, I think you should just like try to exit it and then open it again. Oh, you're on YouTube now. All right, perfect. He said he's on YouTube now. All right, they're open now. See, look, now people can comment. Nab, what you doing? Nab, what you doing, bro?
That ain't me.
All right. Let's keep going. So the adoption trends in 2025. Right now, I say the biggest adoption trend is ETFs. If anybody isn't really familiar with ETFs, all that is it's like a collection of stocks or assets or whatever have you. In the case of crypto, you have a collection of cryptocurrencies, and they're giving people the ability to not invest directly in the cryptocurrency, but to invest in a dedicated portion of the investment in crypto. So what that means is instead of you having an actual Bitcoin investment, you're investing in a collection of Bitcoin that is owned by investors. And that can give you exposure to the cryptocurrency without putting yourself at risk of losing your money. So that's another way to create a safeguard around your investment when it comes to creating wealth. Another thing is right now, if we look at the statistics, in the US, there's only 1 in 4 Americans that own cryptocurrencies. Could you believe that, Nev? Only 1 in 4.
1 in 4, that's only 25% of the population.
Yeah.
Not a lot of room for growth.
Exactly. And within our community, it's probably even less than that. So I think for millennials, as far as the underrepresented individuals, the people within our community, this is a great opportunity for us as far as closing the racial wealth gap and to create a generational shift for the next generation as far as creating wealth for them too.
100%. And that's what conversations like this is for. So that we can spread awareness. It's really just about a matter of awareness. A lot of people are skeptical about crypto. A lot of people are skeptical about how just capital markets work in general. So I feel like the more we can have an open dialogue about it, the easier it's going to and more comfortable people are going to be with investing in these assets.
Absolutely. And right now, I could definitely say that across all the different agencies, there's new agencies that are being created. The most recent one that we've seen is the SEC. They've been a lot more involved in getting crypto to get regulated. I think AI is going to be a big proponent of that as well. Like a lot of people don't really mention that. But figuring out how AI is going to play a role in crypto is going to be interesting too. What do you think about that?
The role that AI is going to play into crypto?
Yeah, because AI is also a huge investment opportunity right now.
100%, and they all go hand in hand. So AI is just the automation of things. And so crypto is kind of the technology that's going to automate banking. So a lot of times with a lot of transactions that we are making in today's time, a lot of the systems that we have are antiquated. So XRP is one of those tokens that allows you to send money like you would be able to send an email. Mm-hmm. Imagine being able to, and this is something that is really a headache for people who have a lot of money, because the more money you're trying to send internationally, the higher those fees are.
Right.
And those fees weigh. So institutions are looking to adopt XRP to be able to send billions of dollars with very efficiently,
Hold on, your sound cut out. Yo, Nav, can you hear me? I think his sound cut out. He can't hear me.
It's because somebody calling me right now.
Oh, you got to put yourself on silent, bro.
Can you hear me better?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so I would say AI goes hand in hand with crypto and blockchain. It's just an automation of what the current system is, allowing things to be a lot more efficient.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would definitely add to that piece and say that um, with AI right now, there's an opportunity to not only use AI but to own it, right? So that's how we're able to leverage AI because I think a lot of people don't have this understanding of what AI is in the value proposition of it. So with owning it, at least you have some type of exposure without having to fully understand the technology. So yeah, that's also another good addition to that. Let's continue on the slides. Let's see what else we have here. So real world examples. I want to talk about the impact on the real world. We already talked about ETFs. You talked about closing the racial wealth gap. In terms of like black owned startups or black owned businesses, do you think that crypto is um, a good way of investing in those as well, or do you think that the American dollar is better for that?
In terms of investing in black-owned businesses.
Yeah, like would you prefer to have, as opposed to having investors who use American dollars, would you propose something like crypto treasury instead?
Um, I would say the crypto treasury is something, like you said, it's about ownership, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to utilize the blockchain and being able to create a treasury of your own, enabling you to become your own bank with, utilizing blockchain technology. Bingo. I think that was very advantageous. It's another dimension that's that's going to allow us to be able to generate wealth within our communities. But none of that really matters unless we have a strong cultural identity and understanding of what's going on in terms of the technical fintech revolution. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
We gotta first get the knowledge and embed that with the culture. So
I agree. Yeah, financial literacy is definitely a gap in knowledge that we need to close. And I think right now the culture is at a disconnect between understanding the leverage that can be used with crypto and just like the value that it has. Um, but that's what we're doing this for now. So,
100%.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, with Silicon Valley, where you have this closed network of individuals who understand how powerful tech companies are. And that outside of that bubble, it's like people don't really get that they're powering half of the internet. That's how crypto feels right now. It's like you have a closed network of individuals who understand the value behind it, but our community needs to be aware of it too.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's really just a matter of being able to see where the future is going. Everybody in this day and age utilizes ChatGPT. Information is readily available. So, you should be utilizing that to your advantage to be able to speed yourself up on these type of topics. But yes, man, 1 in 4 Americans own cryptocurrency. You want that to be at least get that to 3 out of 4. You know what I'm saying? Especially within our community. So yeah, I think that these type of conversations are necessary. I had a conversation with a young lady at the Black Blockchain Summit over the weekend, and she was saying, like, she mentioned treasuries and how we should be creating treasuries within our own communities, whether that's our own households, our families,
right?
So that we can be able to build and generate wealth and pass that wealth down for generations that come. I think you asked so many good questions now. I like that.
Yeah, she knows ball, bro. She knows ball. Yeah, crypto treasuries is where it's at. Yeah, as a market continues to expand and we see more regulation from crypto, treasuries are only going to become more valuable. That's actually why the U.S. government is investing so much into Bitcoin right now, because they understand where the market is going. But yeah, I think you just brought up something great. That was a good segue. You talked about the technical aspects of crypto. So why don't we wrap up our slides and go to yours so you can talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, phenomenal. So family. I want to introduce the hybrid trading and investment approach, where it's basically combining technical analysis with what Nod just gave you guys was an overview of fundamental analysis, which is staying abreast with the news cycle and understanding where we are in terms of the narrative of pushing crypto to the forefront. Where I come in with the technical analysis, this is actually following the market cycles in which price goes through in terms to accumulate and appreciate over time. So,
do you have your slides? You want to send them to me, and I can just like post them on YouTube?
Right.
Yeah, so we can help the viewers on here.
Okay.
And by the way, if y'all have any questions, I see some questions in here actually. Let me see. This was the Gamma app. Yeah, that was a Gamma app, bro. The Gamma app is also AI. So this is what I mean when I say like the value that we have from AI, we don't even realize it yet. We could use knowledge from other networks and other platforms to help us scale businesses and scale opportunities for ourselves. Crypto and AI are the best differentiators for that. Thank y'all for tapping in. By the way, so far we've gone over my slides. If you just joining, we about to go over Navs. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Nah, you should be able to see them in the PDF. I just send it to you. Look up Quick Drive presentation.
You said Quick Drive?
Yep.
I got you. Did you send it to my email?
I did. Notified.
All right. It's going to probably arrive in a few moments here. Yeah, Brian, my video is using a static on purpose. I like that static effect. It gives it that 90s VHS vibe. I'm a 90s baby, you know.
You gotta understand, bro. You know, you be dealing with a younger generation now, man.
They're not tapped in like us.
To that static on the TV when the TV had the fuzz on it.
they don't know. They don't know what it was like to have to wind the tape back in the VCRs when it was broken, bro.
The good old days.
Hey, listen, that's also something I noticed. Like the world we live in today is completely different from the world that we grew up in, bro. The world that we grew up in no longer exists.
Man, parts of it do. Some things never change. Some things, you know, evolve.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but one thing is, there's nothing new under the sun. That's the one thing. There's nothing new under the sun.
1,000%. 1,000%. There might be some new things over the sun, but not under it.
Hey, look, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, bro. We don't know what's beyond the sun yet.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. So just let me know when you got everything up and running.
So I'll just check my email. I don't see your slides in there. Do you
I'm about to send it right now. Let me send it again.
All right.
But I sent it.
Yo, Tom and Jerry was a classic, bro. Tom and Jerry was a classic.
All right, bro, you're taking it way back now.
Nah, somebody in the comments just said I had Tom and Jerry on VHS. That is definitely a classic. I was watching that every weekend, every Saturday.
All right, let me know if that done got to you.
Yep, I got it now. Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
And then just let me know like when you want to move from one slide to the next.
Okay.
Yep.
Give me the green light.
I got you. Hold up.
Okay.
Gotta share my screen. see. Window. There it is. All right. Boom. All right. You're good to go.
All right, family. So, mastering crypto, the hybrid trading and investment approach. So, I've developed a skill set of technical analysis over the past 5 years, which actually was my introduction to capital markets. And then during my time of learning and mastering technical analysis, I came across cryptocurrencies. This was in 2020, the summer of 2020, which was when Bitcoin started to hit all-time highs, leading to an altcoin movement later in 2021. So this approach is something that has allowed me to invest with confidence, okay? The main thing you want to do when you're an investor, you want to focus on dollar cost averaging. That's you, not necessarily timing the market, especially if someone who's new to technical analysis. Your primary focus should just be allocating a certain percentage of your check into a particular asset class, whether that be stocks or in this case, we're talking about cryptos. Mm-hmm. So, Nod mentioned Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in the history of capital markets. No asset has appreciated in value as quickly and as in a short amount of time as Bitcoin. So that just allows you to know and see the power of this asset class, which is crypto. In comparison to stocks, cryptos have only been around for 16 years. Or should I say 17 years? Yeah. So since 2008, since the financial collapse, is when Bitcoin was brought to the market. And it was guys like me and I, who were coming on YouTube and creating YouTube videos, which YouTube was also new in 2008 for a lot of people. Just begging people to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. So we're just trying to do our part to be able to spread awareness so that you guys can begin investing now. As I mentioned, if you guys are familiar with Wall Street, they have 3 major indexes, which is US 30, NAS 100, as well as the S&P 500. These 3 indexes are baskets of the top performing corporations in America across different industries and sectors. Okay, NASDAQ is focused on technology, so you have your Apple stock.
Wait, hold up. Are we on the second slide or?
No, we still on the first.
Oh, okay. I went to the second. My bad.
It's all good. We can move to the second, and I'm glad you did actually. Because right now I'm just freestyling.
Okay.
I'm just talking to the people.
Got you.
But yes, today what we're going to focus on is technical analysis, fundamentals. So that's basically the ability to read price action and understand market psychology, which is really what is driving the market, is emotions. Okay, dollar cost averaging, which is just a fancy way of saying I'm going to invest this amount of money week by week over time to accumulate this asset. Right. And then the third is a hybrid decision framework. So we're bridging the ability to not only follow the fundamentals like Nod shared in his initial presentation, but also be able to understand and take a look at technicals to know where price is currently. Okay, so we can move to the next slide.
All right. Slide 3.
So the brutal reality of crypto markets, as we mentioned, it's a double-edged sword. So cryptocurrencies not only appreciate fast, but they also can have steep retracements or declines. So that's one thing that comes with crypto, which scares a lot of people, is that volatility. That volatility sometimes is too much for the average person to handle, due to the fact that the market can crash. Like Ethereum has had 20 to 30% declines in a single day. That's a sharp decline. You don't normally experience that in the stock market. A stock market on a bad day may have maybe 5 to 10% decline, But when you start talking about 20 to 30% declines, that's something that the average investor doesn't like, because it's a little, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It can shock you, to see your portfolio go from being 10,000 to being down to 6.
Yes, it can be volatile.
In one day. Okay, yeah. So this happens, but the goal is to not to know when to buy low. Okay, so that allows you to not experience that. A lot of people in 2021, when Dogecoin hit the scene, I'm sure a lot of people were hearing word of mouth, hey, Dogecoin is going up, it's going up. Elon Musk is going on SNL, he's talking about Dogecoin is going up, it's going to go up even more. And what did they do? They pulled the rug from under people's feet.
Yes, so stop right there, because this is such a great point that you just brought up. Rug pulls are something that has kept a lot of skeptics away from crypto. And in my opinion, if you actually just take a zoom out on the current state of the U.S. economy, in a lot of ways, that's what it feels like. Like the upper class is doing a rug pull on the lower class. And so you have this wealth extraction that's happening from an insider group of individuals, and we're not aware of it because we just think that, it's a natural part of the economy. But we're seeing some unnatural things happening in the economy right now. So I think that was a great point. But yeah, you can continue.
100%. And so the common investor pitfalls that people typically fall into is FOMO, so buying at peaks. Typically, when prices are at peaks, that's when people are talking about it. That's when you're hearing people say, buy this coin. You're hearing, a C-list, D-list celebrity shield this coin. But hopefully with regulation, a lot of those rug pulls will no longer be such
extreme
experience, so they're working on trying to get rid of those, those meme, or I wouldn't even say meme coins, but just coins that have no real utility or community behind it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as meme coins go, I think there are some that have utility, like even for Doge. They had some speculation about that being used for Tesla payments. It's also been argued that it could be used for the X platform, which is owned by Elon. Some of these coins, obviously, like they don't have any utility behind it except just having a community. But sometimes that's all you need. And I think as long as it has community, it brings people together and is building wealth, then it has utility. Outside of that, if it's like used for nefarious purposes, then we don't need it.
100%. And then, don't buy any hot tour cryptos.
no fart coin. No fart coins.
Yeah, so there are some, like you said, like Dogecoin wasn't created with a serious utility, but they have begun to evolve the technology behind it due to such a strong community behind it, and it just being like a huge presence in the crypto culture. Mm-hmm. But yes, you want to avoid emotions, guys. When you are investing in these markets, you want to take your emotions out of it, okay? You want to have a clear entry and a clear exit strategy. That's what technical analysis enables you to do. It enables you to see what previous highest price was at before you entered it. And those are the price points that you should look to get out. Okay, especially we've had enough time over the last 4 or 5 years to see price fluctuate. That gives you a good exit strategy when price is going above those previous highs. Okay, that's when you should be getting out, not buying. Okay, so this is where your strategy and skill become your competitive advantage. You can move to the next slide now.
For sure. So you on slide 4?
As I mentioned before, when you're reading technical analysis, when you're doing technical analysis, it is about understanding probabilities, not making predictions. Okay, there's nothing certain in the market. All right. So, as we mentioned before, FOMO, right? As you can see with this market, the psychology of a market cycle, we call this the Wall Street cheat sheet. All right. Most people are buying in that first wave of price. When you see price going from hope to optimism to belief to thrill, all the way up to euphoria, when it got you feeling like you're a genius. Well, and we're all about to be rich. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's when you should be most skeptical, and that's when you should be most looking to exit the market. And being able to read technical analysis enables you to not only see the candlesticks and the price movements, but it's also letting you know that this is the feeling behind this asset. When you're seeing the market spike in price, you're seeing a spike in emotions as well. Okay, right now, where we see everybody at right now, we're in a state of disbelief right now. A lot of people are in a state of disbelief. Okay, but that's also the time when you should be most excited. Okay, so being a technical analyst, it will enable you to be able to see the psychology play out in real time. It enable you to invest with confidence, being able to use certain tools like support and resistance, trend lines, and price action. All right.
So for the ones who are less technical, I could definitely translate that for them too. I would say that whenever that line is going upwards, that trend line, there's a lot of greed that's involved. And whenever it's going downward, there's a lot of fear that's involved. And so you want to be as stable as possible, because if you're not trying to stay level headed throughout the market, you're going to fall off of it. There's going to be either a point in time where you accumulated too much and then you don't exit your position, and now you're left with a bag that is worthless, or you're going to wait too long to enter the market and now you have FOMO. So you want to basically master the art of timing and emotions, have an understanding of stability, and learning how to ride the wave.
100%. And one of the biggest mistakes that buyers or investors in crypto did in the previous bull run 4 years ago, they never took profits.
Okay? Yeah, exactly.
They never took profits. It was people who had actually made six figures in investments and turned their investments into six figures, and they never was able to enjoy that money. Mm-hmm. One, because they were emotional and they held on to that euphoric feeling, and they never took profits in the process. So you can literally see something go to thousands of dollars and it can crash. And it may not even be due to the fact that it was a whirlpool or that it was a bad investment, but the market just was not primed to hold that amount of liquidity. Okay.
So let me ask you a question. For a market that is as volatile as crypto is, when is the best time to enter and when is the best time to exit?
The best time to enter is when the market has retraced in those single days 20 to 30%. So when the market has retraced 20 to 30%, you have to look at that as a discount. You don't want to get in when the market is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And the market just looks like it's taking off to the moon. You don't want to get in then. You want to get in when the market has had time to cool off and contract. So if you can see within the market cycle, you can see simplified, you have peaks, and then you have what we call the point of maximum financial opportunity, which is in between contraction and expansion.
So that's like a valley basically.
A valley, exactly.
Okay.
So we can move on to the next slide.
Got you.
All right. So for some of my people that may be familiar, I have a community where I would share technical analysis week to week about different crypto assets. One being Bitcoin. In April of this year, Bitcoin tested 78,000. Okay. It was at a support level where it bounced off 2 times. This is a weekly time frame. So every candlestick that you see printed on this chart was printed over a week's time. So this move took months to develop. Yeah. Okay. As you guys can see, price jumped at that level 1 week, came up, came back down, and it gave us a second bounce at that level of support. That is when I was suggesting to my community, this is the right time to buy right now. Due to me being able to have the experience of being in the market and being an analyst over the past 5 years, I've developed the confidence and also just the knowledge of what price action is doing. And you can do the same thing. It just takes time to develop a skill set, but it's a worthy endeavor, because investing is not something you're doing for the short term. It's something you're doing for the long term in for the foreseeable future. So within this buy opportunity, the market was able to expand and reach a 58% return, which priced at an all-time high of $124,500. Okay.
So that took a month. That took a month's worth of time. Even though that was a large sum of accumulation, do you think that there's any point in time where you could have exited that market?
Is it any point in time I could have exited?
Yeah, with a profit.
So, when we saw price go above those previous highs, what that previous climax was, that is a good time for you to start to say, hey, I've made enough on this rally. I'm fine with taking profits at this point. A 58% return is a phenomenal return. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, those returns only give you about 10 to 20% a year. But you, within this short period of time, you could have, within a month's time, or let's say a month and a half's time, you could have gotten a 58% return on your investments, simply because you were able to identify this price pattern and capitalize on the movement.
Right.
So this is the power of technical analysis and being an investor. I don't advise everyone to become a trader, but I do advise everyone to take the time to study technical analysis, because it would allow you to be a more confident investor.
For sure. Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. I think that when it comes to investments or trading, there's a level of risk that is involved, and you want to be vigilant of the decision that you make, because you could lose everything just by making one wrong decision. So if you are the type of person who wants to invest, definitely tap in with Nav. He has a trading platform called NavTrades, and we'll be able to share that information after this.
Phenomenal, brother. Thank you. And so we can move to the next slide.
All right.
Okay, so dollar cost averaging, the wealth building. This is ultimately what I believe everyone should be doing. You should be taking a certain percentage, a fixed amount, and investing that market at regular intervals, regardless of price movements. All right. So you want to have a consistent investment schedule, whether that's weekly or bi-weekly. Albert Einstein has a saying: compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay, so if you can take the time to invest a small portion, and I know that in 2025, with the current economic forecast that we're under, it hasn't been easy for people to save.
Right.
I think the statistics are less than 10% of people have $1,000 in their savings accounts for emergencies. Okay, we want to change that. And investing is the best way to save. So I treat my cryptocurrencies as my savings account. You can always take that money out of the market if need be, in case of emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want you guys to know that money is yours. You can take it out when you feel like it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because this past weekend, right, I had a huge savings amount in my Robinhood account. It was in Ethereum, and it went up maybe like 20% over the past like month or so. So I just left it sitting there, and I decided to withdraw a portion of it. And guess what happened? It only took maybe less than 10 minutes to do that, versus you having a savings account from like some other bank, and like you have to transfer it to your actual account. That's going to take days.
Wow. And so this is what you guys need to know. Like, treat your investment accounts almost like your own personal piggy bank. You know, keep that money flowing in there, but whenever you need it, feel comfortable taking it out. Over the past 5 years, I've had to sell and liquidate my cryptos in times of emergencies. But because I consistently invest over the long term, I have a big enough pool to be able to take from and be able to still maintain a sizable portion to be able to benefit when the market is ready to rally.
Absolutely.
Nah, you there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to remove this approach, dollar cost averaging. It removes the emotional decision making. Okay, it makes it systematic in your approach, and it eliminates the fear of missing out and fear-based selling. Okay. Number 3, smooths market volatility. Averages out price fluctuations over time, reducing overall risk. Okay. So we're going to move to the next slide.
All right.
And this is just an example. Okay. I would have showed you guys my portfolio, but I have, for my own reasons, I'm going to use an example. All right, guys. Okay. So, consistent monthly investment. All right. And this is very low, guys. This is very low. $100 a month minimum invested over the course of 5 years would total to $6,000, right? But with the advantage of being in the crypto market, like we said, one of the most volatile markets, but the returns are aggressive, all right, guys? So over the past, if you invested $100 over the last 5 years, that $6,000 would be around $30,000 today. All right.
Yep.
$30,000 today, guys.
And one thing else that I should note is that if you look at that graph on this particular slide, you're gonna see some peaks and valleys, but that's a pattern. If you can recognize that pattern, you'll be less anxious whenever the price of Bitcoin goes down. Just for example.
That's a great way of looking at it. I'm glad you pointed that out. It's like we said, this approach is a systematic approach. It's a long-term approach. Okay, guys? So that money that you had saved, where you would have put that $100 away and put that in a savings account, that would have you would be sitting on $6,000. But look at the incentive that the market gives you to invest.
Right.
All right? The market is giving you an incentive because we know it's a proven approach, a proven strategy that the market will provide returns, okay, year over year, especially when you're investing in assets such as Bitcoin, okay?
Or the ETFs, or the ETFs.
Or the ETFs,
yeah,
which are on the way.
Hey, listen, man, I'm going to just say I have a good amount in some ETFs right now, like a good amount.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you guys got to holler at Nod, because Nod knows what he's doing. He's been in the game, and this is what the rich do, okay? This is how the rich make their money. The rich let their money compound, guys, and they find out where the advancements are in technology, and they capitalize on those innovations, okay? And they get in early. They get in before everyone is excited about it, okay? Yep. They get in when it's whispers, and there's enough information going around in today's age to give you confidence to be an investor, okay? But yes, the incentive is the market will give you your returns. It's proven. This is what markets were created to do, to create value. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on to the next slide.
All right.
All right. So
slide
this is just basically the hybrid approach. Okay? The best of both worlds. Okay? Taking technical analysis and being an active investor, and also taking dollar cost averaging for long-term building. Okay. So this approach will allow you to have higher potential returns and with lower stress and steady growth. Okay. We want to focus on consistency over time. Like I said, with technical analysis, there are no guarantees, but we have probabilities that are in our favor, working in your favor. When you see these patterns time and time again, you'll be able to identify when the market is confident and when you want to put your money in. Okay? So let's move on to the next slide.
Slide 9.
Yeah. So risk management, only invest. This is the key, guys. If you want to be an investor, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Okay? Do not bet your house on crypto. Bet what you can afford, okay, guys? So whatever you put in the market, you should be, whatever you put in the market, it should be after you paid your bills, after you taking care of your essentials. This is what you're investing into the market, that extra pocket change. Okay, sometimes you may have to sacrifice a night out of going to 12 stories. You might need to
sacrifice a night of gambling on FanDuel.
Exactly. Okay. LeBron don't care about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Luka Doncic already got his money, y'all.
All those athletes are making so much more money, and you're at the risk of losing yours. So just make the smarter decision.
Make the smarter decision and invest in yourself. So many, and this is really the perfect alternative to sports gambling. If you're somebody who likes to sports gamble, you should be able to take the same approach that you take to investing in. The reason why you invest that into these players as FanDuel is because you know their past performance. Okay, and you're betting on them to continue that performance. You're just taking that same approach but applying it to assets and businesses. Okay, exactly. This is what the wealthy do. You know, they
transferable skills.
Exactly. Yeah. It's transferable. All right, guys. This is not something that's rocket science. It's just it's a proven practice, and this is the game that the wealthy play. They got their vices as well, I'm sure. Right. But they had their portfolio stocked. Okay. So commit to continuous learning, guys. Continue to learn. Continue to pay attention to the market cycle in terms of the news. What's going on? A lot of things that happen and that are grow in the market are emphasized starting with the White House. And I know me and Nod and a lot of us on this call, we live in the DMV area. So we're really right in the midst of where a lot of these decisions are being made that allow innovation to thrive, okay? So just continue to pay attention to it, especially right now with this president that we have. He sends out a single tweet and the market fluctuates. So continue to pay attention to the dialogue that's happening in the news around these businesses and assets such as crypto. And avoid leverage as a beginner. Do not borrow money or, take money from anybody else. Master the basics with your own capital first. Man, learn how to manage your money first. Every one of you guys should have a 50, 30, 20 budget plan, okay? One thing I like to do is I like to have 3 different accounts. I have an account for my play money. I have a bank account for my essentials. And then I have a bank account for my investments. And that 20% that I get every time I'm paid, I use that bank account to empty it into my crypto exchange. And I move that money to my crypto wallet, okay? So avoid leverage as a beginner. Patience beats perfection. So guys, think about this 5 years from now. I've been in the game for 5 years. I would love to be a millionaire right now. But that's just not how the game works. It takes time. You got to really pay your dues in the market. Yeah. And time in the market beats time in the market. All right?
For sure.
So consistency trumps complexity. All right, guys? And then we can move on to the next slide.
That's a bar. Time in the market beats timing the market.
It beats timing the market, man. Timing beats timing.
We on the last slide now.
We're wrapping this up, but if you guys are looking to grow, you can follow me at NavTrades. And I have plenty of free resources as well as my Discord community I will share with you guys. But yes, we're going to continue this continuous learning process. And that's what I hope this call was able to do tonight. Just continue to spread awareness and give you guys more confidence to go check out what's going on in crypto and get involved. But again, I appreciate you, man.
For sure. Before we do conclude the slides and our conversation, I definitely want to take some time to just say shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to Amani. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but glad that you were able to pull up. We Them Media. Shout out to y'all as well for tuning in. Shout out to Brian, Travel Swag, everybody that is on the YouTube streams, Instagram streams. Shout out to all y'all. Definitely want to tap in again in the future because this is not going to be the end. This is the beginning, but it's definitely not the end. We also have one more thing that we want to do before this is over. So I'm going to be waiting for the first guest of my media platform, which is known as the Nodcast. The Nodcast is an audio-visual platform for creatives that want to stand out and not fit in. Those who are daring to be different.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, my bad. I got a battery notification. But yeah, I was saying it's an audio-visual platform for creatives that are daring to be different. And that's through, your entrepreneurial efforts. That's through, escaping the 9-to-5 matrix, however you wish to highlight your journey as a creative. That's my platform. That's what it's about. So this is definitely a conversation piece that I wanted to add to that platform. Definitely tap in with me. Follow me at the Nodcast. Follow Nev at NavTrades. And yeah, that's it. Anything else you got, Nev?
Look, that's all, man. Discipline and consistency beats timing and luck every time. I wish you guys the best on your journeys. Like that. Building off what Nod said, it's all about trying to beat this matrix that we're in. The game isn't really set up for us to win, but with education and community, we can thrive together and hopefully one day continue to create a treasury, you know?
Sure.
That's really the ultimate goal.
For sure.
Yes, guys, thank you guys for tapping in with us tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next event.
Wait, but my homie just texted me, so we're gonna have him join.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm trying to see if I could use live while you're doing this, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're the one who hosted the live, so I don't know if I could add him on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could see if he could tap in on YouTube. I'm gonna send him the YouTube link.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna be back.
Okay, smooth.
All right. All right, I'm adding my homie right now. My homie is Kassim. He is the first guest of the Nodcasts. He was on season 1. He's a rapper who has a huge investment in crypto. He actually moved to LA because of his profit that he made from crypto. And he talked a lot about that in episode 1. So please go check that out. It's on YouTube right now on this channel, this particular channel. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, subscribe, tap in with me. I'm gonna have season 2 coming up next. I'm adding Kassim right now. He's gonna be on YouTube, hopefully on YouTube Live. I'm gonna see if I can get him connected. All right. Any questions while I'm doing this? I had to reach out to him real quick. No questions. No questions. Let's see. I'm just waiting for him to join. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's going to take him some time before he responds. But yeah, while we're waiting, make sure that you subscribe to the Nodcast YouTube channel. The Nodcast YouTube channel has about 4 or 5 interviews that are up right now currently. And you can check out all the different guests that are on there. There's also some other information that I have, like about training camps, AI, and stuff like that. I have some questions here. It says, what do you think about the coin Render, if you know about it? So I do actually know about Render, and I know about Sui. So for Render, that's actually a dope technology. I recommended that to somebody recently. I think it's cool because it's a great way to preserve the amount of power that's used in the environment. Like whenever you use, whether it's crypto, the blockchain, AI, you're using a lot of computation that's coming from a server in a data center. And so that allows you to make it more efficient because you're using crypto instead of you like actually using a server from some other remote data center. And they have an allocation of servers that they already provisioned for you. So you can always use that instead of just using some random server across the world. So I think that's a cool technology. Like just overall, it's cool. And it's also even more cool that you can invest in that. So you can become an owner of it. For Sui, Sui's another dope origin story. So like they actually came from the Meta developer ecosystem, and for Sui, their network is really cool too. So like they've been investing a lot of some of the newer like technologies like L2 coins. There's some other stuff that they're doing that's like really cool in the tokenomic space. But I like what Sui's doing as well. I think they're also going to be investing in gaming as well. But I like how they've been able to build their platform. For SEI, I'm not really familiar with that, so you're gonna have to inform me more about that. But yeah, that's dope that you're a bag holder. Yeah, Sui, SEI, all those are some pretty cool recommendations. All right, I see Kassim's on YouTube now. Let me see if I can get him to join. Let me see if I can get him to join. Dropping gems. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good, Kassim? I'm trying to see if I can get you to join on here. There's like a go live together feature. I might not have access to it though, because you know how YouTube is. Like they like to gatekeep stuff if you don't have enough engagement yet. Um, if you have, all right, check this out. Here's what we're gonna do. Instead of you being on YouTube, I'm gonna talk on YouTube. But if you can start a live and then just request to invite me on there, we can continue the conversation doing that. So like you can still tap in if you want on here, but um, just like start a live on Instagram and then request to invite me. Anybody who's in here right now, let me know if you are already a crypto investor, and then we'll definitely tap in either on my Discord channel where I have a lot more information about crypto, um, things like crypto treasuries, media, all that good stuff. And yeah, we can tap in on there. Let's see. I don't even see. Yeah, I don't even see Nav on Instagram anymore. He's saying, "Should I end the live?" I don't see him on there anymore. If anybody's on IG right now, let me know because I don't see him on IG right now. Yo, Kassim, where you at? Yo, Kassim, if you're on YouTube right now, join Instagram, start a live, and then request to invite me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like for some reason, Nav is on live, but I don't see him on there. And then for this, oh, hold up. It says he requested to invite me. I don't see it. It's so strange. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I have to figure this out. I'm going to go to a quick break, and I'm going to come back once I have the live thing set up on Instagram. So give me one moment. Let me see if I can start the break thing. They don't even let me add a break on here either. OBS does. That's crazy. Nah, YouTube is really being bootleg right now. They haven't given me the options to add a break to invite anybody. This is crazy. Yeah, nah, Instagram is being bootleg too. All right, Kassim, if you're not gonna be joining IG, oh, he's there. He is. All right, I see now. I was waiting on him. All right, perfect. Yo, what's good?
Oh, what's up? It's good.
Yo, my bad for the technical difficulties.
Give me 1 second. Let me just get on. Let me get started.
All right.
How was it though?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We had a lot of people tap in. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh yeah, I got there. I saw you were talking about that was fire. You were talking about Susie. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Susie's vibe.
Yeah, somebody asked about it, so I definitely had to tap in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was excited, yo. We haven't done one of these last time in your studio. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Like the last time we talked, it was on episode 1, I think, in detail about this.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. What should we start with? How should we start?
Definitely just want to talk about your journey from the East Coast to the West Coast and like, how crypto helped you with that.
Oh man, that's a great one. Crypto honestly is the only way I'll be able to do it. I started buying Bitcoin around 2020 when the pandemic first hit. I lost my job. I was working at a Holiday Inn, and I was like, man, there has to be a way to make money without me physically working. And that's when my investment muscle started. And Bitcoin was the first one. And so leading up to me actually moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I was just constantly buying Solana in particular. When FTX crashed, the Solana went down to $8. I was buying it for $8. I was buying it for $9. I was buying it for $16. I just kept buying it as it went up, but I'm still buying it. And so essentially, I had like a leap of faith moment when I was like, I'm gonna reach a certain number, take some profit out, keep the rest in, and just one way ticket it. And honestly, without crypto, I wouldn't have been able to move to the West Coast because the way capitalism is set up is like there's always another bill, there's always another emergency, there's always another reason to not follow your dreams. And crypto is like, you got this. That's what it felt like. And so
for sure. For sure, bro. I think that's inspiring for a lot of people too, because a lot of people right now they're in a state of instability as far as the economy goes, and crypto is like a way to escape that instability by having something that you can put your reserve in that can grow over time. So could you talk to the people about your investment in your favorite cryptocurrencies?
No, I agree. First of all, everything you just said was absolutely facts. Crypto is definitely the best way for people that look like us to invest, that people that sound like us to invest, that people that are our age to invest. The truth about investing, unfortunately, is that we have these corporations, these venture capitalists, and they cornered every market. You can't buy a home because they cornered the market. You can't buy a car, they cornered the market. You can't buy anything. Everything is rent, subscription. And crypto is freedom. It's a bare instrument. So when you buy Ethereum, that's your Ethereum. If you hold it on your wallet, of course.
Right.
When you buy Bitcoin, that's yours. If you buy XRP, that's yours. And so, ironically, those are some of my favorites. My favorites are the L1 with a lot of activity. Specifically, Bitcoin. Solana is my personal favorite just because it's the fastest. I saw it when down bad. I've been riding with it all the way up. So it feels like how do I say it? I feel like with Bitcoin, because I didn't buy it in 2009, 2010, 2011, yes, I'm glad I bought it, but I missed a lot of like that lore. Whereas when the FTX crashed, Solana was just like, it was literally called a meme coin launchpad. Like no one took it seriously. Now you got X stuff, and now you got literally tokenized stocks coming to the Solana blockchain.
Yeah.
Now you got some ETFs coming out, and tokenization in general is such a big deal. Ethereum is another one I love. I've been buying Ethereum since when it was $700 back in 2020, and it's only gotten more and more valuable. Specifically for me, when it comes to my perspective of the brand new internet, I truly believe that with centralized companies such as Bitmine that are just buying Ethereum massively.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the demand of Ethereum is going to go through the roof, so I've been buying that.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because you talked about how these companies are starting to hoard these large reserves of crypto. So, do you think it would be a great investment as far as crypto treasuries for somebody like a Kassim who wants to start his own design firm to have like a crypto treasury?
I agree. Yes, absolutely. Couple reasons. One, when we were talking about the venture capital, so what's happening right now is that these big experts teaming up together. They have these things called ETFs, right? And they're just all in their group. We're buying it, we're buying it.
Yeah.
And what's happening is that yes, it's important for everyday people to buy crypto. That's absolutely important. However, the cost of living is so high, it's not realistic to just drop 4K on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just dropping 4K on Ethereum, some people would put 50,000 into Ethereum, which is still great, but you didn't get Ethereum. You got pieces of it ETH, which is still great. However, Bitmine, the actual company, which is a decentralized company that's a treasury company, has the most ETH on the planet. They almost have 3 million ETH. What happens is if you buy the Bitmine stock, which is only $40, because it's dipping right now,
yep,
that same $50 would have bought you a sliver of an Ethereum, whereas that same $50 would buy you $1 and probably 5% of another Bitmine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bitmine has 3 million Ethereum. So what ends up happening is Bitmine is technically priced in Ethereum. Even though you see it on your Robinhood, it's just like a stock company, it's technically a treasury company. And so I believe that treasury companies will be the new way for people who missed out on the dip to start buying and get into activity. So a better example would be someone who sees Bitcoin at 100+ thousand, and like, damn, I can't afford it.
Yep.
I missed the boat.
So you go to MicroStrategy.
Boom.
Yeah.
Just that's
yep.
why we connect.
Yep.
Go to MicroStrategy. Spend that $400 you would have spent to buy a tiny sliver of a Bitcoin, which is still great. You got Satoshi. But if you got the stock MicroStrategy, it would be a whole different ballgame.
Do you think that these companies, like with the new regulation that's just passed, the Genius Act in July, do you think that they're going to start creating their own cryptocurrencies? Like, are we going to see like an Apple coin, a Google coin?
Good question. I think they're going to start, because it's going to be hard for them to demand trust. I think the first step would be stable coins.
Mm-hmm.
I think Apple stablecoin would be extremely efficient for anybody who wants to stay in the Apple ecosystem. Not saying I would use it per se, but if I was a company like Apple that already, think about it, Apple already has Apple Pay. So they already have the infrastructure.
They do.
Apple Pay, they already got an Apple Pay card. So honestly, it's like nothing. It's a no-brainer for Apple to just be like, okay, we're just going to have a stable coin. Walmart already said they're going to do it. And the reason why is because they want to go against the Visas and the MasterCards. The issue is with these merchants, it's inefficient for them to just keep accepting credit cards. What Apple will want to do to cut out the middleman is to say, okay, but if you use our stablecoin, we might give you a discount. They get more activity, and then they get more on the back end with the fees, and it's all unregulated. It's on crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happening is it becomes trillions and trillions of dollars of activity that is just on a blockchain itself. So
I'm actually afraid that would happen because I've always looked at crypto as a deflationary asset. So it's meant to kind of be a hedge against the American dollar. If Apple is the most valuable company in the world right now, it's like worth more than $4 trillion. If it created its own cryptocurrency, it's almost like it's monopolizing the market. And we already seen like how it's been doing that with peak capitalism in terms of its products, right? Like the iPhone 17, you have to buy the battery. separately.
Damn.
So yeah, so I was just gonna say like that's to me. I think it's not gonna be a good strategy if we want to invest in something that's gonna help us grow our wealth, and we already have to deal with like a competitor like Apple who has their own coin.
I agree.
Yeah.
Personally, to be transparent, I was never gonna buy an Apple crypto product.
Yeah.
You know, the most thing, what I'm really looking for when it comes to Apple, I'm looking for three things, honestly. I'm looking for their wallet integrations. When I moved out to LA, I got a Coinbase card. That was life changing because I was able to spend USDC like with the dollar. That was my first time, even pre Genius Act. That was my first time experiencing like merchants from like a crypto perspective. And everyone who I interacted with who knew on the back end it was crypto, they were more excited. It's like, wait, I don't have to pay the fees. So I really, really believe that Apple Pay with crypto is about to be game changer. And when I say that, I mean because XRP, Solana, like anything, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also, as the metaverse becomes like a bigger deal, we already saw it with the Vision Pro. Even though the Vision Pro wasn't super successful, the fact that Meta is killing it with Ray-Bans, from the Oakleys to the Things glasses, I do believe that Apple will have to step up their mixed reality situation. And I do think that the mixed reality metaverse thing would be another avenue for Apple. And last but not least, I think with AI introducing vibe coding, I think AI and vibe coding equals a whole new demand for the app store. And even people like me, I personally don't even know how to build an app, but I can build an app, absolutely. I think specifically, I remember last time we talked, I was like, yo, I want to build a crypto app. I think apps are going to be a way for Apple to get into like back on top, because right now they're definitely losing to Microsoft and they're definitely losing to NVIDIA. Well, everyone's going to lose to NVIDIA. They're definitely losing to Microsoft. And I think that they're going to use crypto as a way to like fight back. So it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
The more they do, the better it is for us. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say absolutely. Like Apple, like right now, I think they're going to compete in that mixed reality market. So they actually brought up something called liquid glass. And to me, I think that's like the OS that's going to be used for the metaverse. It's going to be something that, it's going to be something that has to deal with like more elements that are lifelike. You know, things that feel more like water. You know, they're fluid and they can move a lot more like life. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. As far as the companies that are moving towards that market in AI, do you think that AI is going to help the crypto market or hurt it?
Man, you're asking an incredible question. I think two ways, right? I think it's going to help because what's going to end up happening is AI will start interacting with each other. They're already doing it. So, like, one of the things that I've been buying for the past couple of months, since, like, let's say January, has been a virtual protocol which sits on top of both Ethereum and Solana, but to start off on Ethereum. Agents are transacting, and I truly believe agents at scale will bring nothing but growth, right? And even I just got off from work at Zara, and even at the self-checkout, there is no human interaction, it's all AI.
Right.
And so I truly believe that once crypto gets integrated, when everyone has their phone that has their saving coins or whatever blockchain they have, I think when they try to make purchases, it's going to be all AI interactions. I think realistically, humans won't be working, but crypto will be advancing. And so humans won't be working and crypto is advancing. There's definitely going to be a merger. And so I'm technically hyper focused on both. I also do see a world where open source crypto, so think BitTensor for the Tau network, or think, like I said, we even said it, Ethereum. Ethereum is one of the best examples. A decentralized computing network that can compete with the likeness of a data center from Microsoft, with the likeness from the data center from Apple. Instead of just having like these big corporations hold all our data and just like pretty much like enslave us to the information, we can have decentralized computing networks and we can build our own ecosystem. So that's kind of like how I see both ways.
Man, I wish we can continue this conversation a lot more, but for the interest of time, I'm definitely going to have to like close it soon. That's a great point that you definitely brought up. I think the future, that as far as crypto goes, like what can help that industry with AI is the ability to have a decentralized physical infrastructure. So having the way to externalize that compute from a data center and make it, faster to access as far as all the transactions that are happening in mainframe computers and stuff like that, it makes it easier for you to learn how to operate that when you have it decentralized, as opposed to having it in a data center where it's like using a whole bunch of resources. And that's something that a lot of people are complaining about now. They're saying that these data centers are starting to come up and they're making the community hotter. They're leading to, environmental issues. Yeah, pollution. So I'm so glad you brought that up. But yo, I thank you. I thank you so much for your time, bro. I appreciate the value that you exchanged.
I really got off work. I was like, yo, I gotta hit him now.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yes. Find me anywhere. KASSIMVIA. Kassim via underscore. I make music. I also make AI ads, AI visuals. Like, honestly, I'm a beast at it. Clothes coming soon for sure. Crypto consultations if anyone out there needs like a one-on-one guidance. And yeah, no, I appreciate you. Also, keep up with this platform. Like, this is an incredible platform from the Nodcast, Discord, YouTube, to the IG. Check them out.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on the Nodcast _ the Nodcast. Thank y'all for your time. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace, Brody.